From the lively streets of 1930s Manhattan to the haunting evacuation at Dunkirk in the 1940s, these 50 colorized photos reveal eerie moments frozen in time. Each image tells a story that's as captivating as it is heartbreaking. But before we move, we must warn you, these photos are not suitable for all viewers. The raw emotions captured in these images may leave you feeling disturbed and uneasy. So proceed with caution and prepare yourself for an intense journey through history. Number 50. The Empire State Express in Syracuse. In 1905, the Empire State Express thundered down Washington Street in Syracuse, New York, becoming a local marvel. Operated by the New York Central and Hudson River Railroad, this train was famed for its speed, often exceeding 50 mph, a remarkable feat at the time. It also held the distinction of having the longest non-stop passenger route, covering 143 miles between New York City and Albany. Syracuse, nicknamed the city with the trains in the streets, had trains traversing its streets since 1859. This vibrant era of railroads made the city a bustling hub, blending urban life with the excitement of the industrial age. Number 49. False armistice celebration on Wall Street. On November 7, 1918, Wall Street erupted in celebration after a mistaken report announced Germany's surrender. Captured in an iconic photograph at 1:52 p.m., the joy was palpable yet premature. Admiral Henry Wilson's unverified report of an armistice being signed spread rapidly after journalist Roy Howard rushed to publish it. Traders, wrapping up their day early, became some of the first to share the news. Jubilant crowds filled the streets, celebrating the war's apparent end. However, the real armistice was signed on November 11, 1918. The New York Times later criticized this hasty act of journalism, marking the event as a cautionary tale of misinformation. Number 48. The execution of Lincoln's conspirators. On July 7, 1865, 4 conspirators in President Abraham Lincoln's assassination were executed at Fort McNair in Washington, D.C. John Wilkes Booth, the assassin, was killed during his capture, but his co-conspirators, Lewis Powell, David Herold, George Atzerodt, and Mary Surratt, faced trial. Surratt, the first woman executed by the U.S. federal government, provided her boarding house for the plot. Scottish photographer Alexander Gardner documented the somber event, including the specially constructed gallows. This execution marked the grim conclusion of a tragic chapter in American history as the nation grappled with the aftermath of its beloved president's assassination. Number 47. The Harlem Hellfighters return home. In 1919, the 369th Infantry Regiment, famously known as the Harlem Hellfighters, received a hero's welcome in New York City. These African-American soldiers had bravely fought in World War I despite facing intense racism. Deployed to France in 1917, they earned respect for their valor and skill, especially from French allies. By April 1918, their exceptional service began to chip away at the discrimination they initially faced. Their return was marked by a grand parade along Fifth Avenue, celebrating their contributions and bravery. The Harlem Hellfighters' legacy endures as a testament to courage, determination, and breaking racial barriers during a pivotal moment in history. Number 46. The bustling garment district of Manhattan. In the early 1930s, the garment district in Manhattan was a hub of creativity and commerce, pulsing with energy. This bustling neighborhood was the beating heart of the American fashion industry. Streets teemed with workers, buyers, and designers, all contributing to the vibrant ecosystem of fabric sales, fashion showcases, and trend-setting designs. Known for its unique character, the district epitomized the glamour and grit of New York City during its golden age. Behind the scenes, skilled tailors and seamstresses brought bold visions to life. Number 45. Florence Thompson and Dorothea Lange's iconic photograph. In 1936, Florence Thompson's face became an enduring symbol of resilience during the Great Depression. Captured by renowned photographer Dorothea Lange, the image of Florence with her children conveyed the silent struggles of migrant families. Born in 1903 in Oklahoma to Cherokee parents, Florence faced many challenges. Widowed young, she moved to California with her 6 children in search of a better life. When Lange encountered her, Florence's family car had broken down, leaving them stranded. This poignant moment immortalized Florence's strength and determination amidst hardship. The photo, later titled Migrant Mother, remains one of the most evocative images of history, a testament to human endurance during times of despair. Number 44. Stanley Kubrick's early masterpiece. Before becoming a legendary filmmaker, Stanley Kubrick honed his craft as a photographer for Look magazine. In 1949, at just 21, he captured the vibrant energy of Chicago's North State Street outside the iconic Chicago Theater. The marquee showcased John Loves Mary, a lighthearted farce featuring stars Jack Carson and Marion Hutton. Kubrick's striking composition revealed his talent for capturing dynamic, human moments. His meticulous attention to detail foreshadowed his future as a groundbreaking director of classics like 2001, A Space Odyssey, and The Shining. This photograph, part of his Chicago City of Extremes series, highlights the raw, vibrant culture of post-war America through the lens of a budding genius. Number 43. Confederate prisoners at Seminary Ridge. During the Battle of Gettysburg in 1863, Confederate prisoners were held at Seminary Ridge, marking a grim chapter in the American Civil War. Earlier, a parole system allowed captured soldiers to pledge not to fight again until exchanged. However, this system collapsed as Confederate leaders refused to treat black Union soldiers equally, leading to overcrowded prison camps. By the war's end, over 400,000 soldiers were imprisoned, with more than 55,000 dying in captivity. These camps became a symbol of the war's horrors, where disease and starvation claimed countless lives. Number 42. Tragedy at Fort Sill, balloon explosion. In 1918, Fort Sill in Oklahoma, a site tied to Native American leader Geronimo's burial, became the backdrop for a devastating incident. Hydrogen-filled kite balloons used for artillery observation required careful handling. During an operation at Henry Post Field, static electricity ignited the hydrogen, causing a catastrophic explosion. The accident claimed the lives of 6 soldiers and injured 30 others. Captured in a haunting photograph, the tragedy underscored the dangers of early military technology. These balloons, once seen as innovative tools for warfare, became stark reminders of the risks faced by servicemen during World War I. Number 41. Sergeant Samuel Smith and his family. In 1864, Union soldier Sergeant Samuel Smith posed proudly with his wife Molly and daughters Mary and Maggie. Smith was a member of the 119th U.S. Colored Infantry, enlisting at Camp Nelson in Kentucky after the Emancipation Proclamation of 1863. The photo captures the dignity and determination of a family reshaping their future amidst the chaos of the Civil War. The formation of the United States Colored Troops marked a pivotal moment in the fight for freedom, with over 180,000 black soldiers bravely serving. Sergeant Smith's story is one of courage and resilience, embodying the hope and strength of those who fought not only for their country, but for their rightful place in history. Number 40. The service flag at Fort Riley. In 1917, soldiers of the 164th Depot Brigade at Fort Riley, Kansas, created a massive service flag to honor their dedication during World War I. British-born photographer Arthur Mole, famed for his patriotic imagery, orchestrated this stunning scene. Using an 80-foot-high platform, Mole directed thousands of soldiers to form intricate patterns symbolizing national pride. The process took meticulous planning, with weeks of preparation and precise coordination. The resulting photograph became a striking emblem of unity and sacrifice during wartime. Now, let's move to number 39. Arnold Genthy's Chinatown in San Francisco. In 1896, Arnold Genthy captured the Street of Gamblers in San Francisco's Chinatown, showcasing the vibrant yet marginalized Chinese community. Chinese immigrants had settled in the area as early as 1849, drawn by opportunities from the California Gold Rush and the Transcontinental Railroad. Despite facing harsh racism, including the 1892 Chinese Exclusion Act, Chinatown thrived. Genthy's candid photographs, often taken without the subject's knowledge, revealed the authentic character of the neighborhood. His images feature men in traditional attire and cues, documenting a rich cultural legacy amidst adversity. Number 38. USS Recruit in Union Square. In 1917, the USS Recruit, a full-sized wooden battleship, was constructed in Union Square, New York City. This remarkable replica served as a recruitment tool during World War I, attracting over 25,000 men to join the Navy and raising funds through Liberty bonds. Equipped with wireless technology, searchlights, and officer quarters, it was a striking sight in Manhattan. The ship hosted events, including receptions for Native Americans, and remained until its decommissioning in 1920. Despite its 6 wooden guns being replicas, the USS Recruit symbolized patriotism and ingenuity during a critical time in American history. Now let's move to number 37. The Beatles' iconic Abbey Road photo. In 1969, the Beatles' Abbey Road album cover became one of music's most iconic images. Photographer Ian McMillan captured the band crossing Abbey Road outside EMI Studios. With only 10 minutes and a stepladder for the perfect angle, he created a timeless visual. The cover famously omitted the band's name and album title, a bold move signifying their global fame. A Volkswagen Beetle seen in the background gained notoriety after its license plate was stolen post-release. This legendary image remains a hallmark of the Beatles' enduring cultural impact. Number 36. Lee Harvey Oswald in custody, 1963. In 1963, Lee Harvey Oswald was photographed in custody after being charged with the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The image captures Oswald shortly before he was killed by Jack Ruby, leaving many questions unanswered and fueling conspiracy theories that persist to this day. Oswald's brief and enigmatic life continues to spark debate, as historians and investigators examine the events surrounding Kennedy's assassination. This photograph is a haunting reminder of a tragedy that shocked the nation and altered the course of American history. Number 35. The New Orleans Desegregation Crisis. The New Orleans desegregation crisis marked a turning point in the civil rights movement. Following the Civil Rights Act of 1964, efforts to integrate schools intensified. Between 1969 and 1972, the number of African American children in segregated schools dropped dramatically, thanks to measures like redrawing school districts and busing students to achieve racial balance. While the transition faced resistance, it symbolized a broader push toward equality in education. This critical moment in American history highlighted the courage of students and families who endured adversity to pave the way for a more inclusive future. Number 34. Oglala Sioux Leader in Omaha. In 1899, an Oglala Sioux leader posed for a photograph in Omaha, Nebraska, symbolizing the resilience of his people. The Oglala, a subgroup of the Lakota Sioux, are known for their rich culture and independent spirit. The name Oglala means to scatter one's own, reflecting their adaptability and strength. Many Oglala Sioux live on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota, preserving their traditions despite historical challenges. This photograph captures the dignity and endurance of a people who have faced immense hardship while continuing to honor their heritage. Number 33. Charles Lindbergh's historic flight. In 1927, Charles Lindbergh became the first person to fly solo across the Atlantic, covering 3,500 miles in 33.5 hours aboard the Spirit of St. Louis. His groundbreaking achievement brought him international fame and inspired generations of aviators, including Amelia Earhart. Before his historic flight, Lindbergh worked as a U.S. airmail pilot, living a modest life. During World War II, he served as a consultant and combat pilot. Lindbergh's contributions to aviation and his enduring legacy as a trailblazer continue to inspire exploration and innovation in the skies. Number 32. Claude Monet, the father of Impressionism. Claude Monet, born in 1840, was a pioneer of Impressionism, an art movement focused on capturing light and fleeting moments. Known for his stunning landscapes and nature-inspired works, Monet revolutionized the art world with pieces like Water Lilies and Impression, Sunrise. This rare colorized photograph from 1899 offers a glimpse into the life of the artist who redefined visual storytelling. Monet's innovative techniques and dedication to portraying the beauty of the natural world have solidified his status as one of history's most influential painters. Number 31. Art Hodes's Riverboat Jazz Band in Times Square. In July 1947, Art Hodes and his Riverboat Jazz Band brought lively energy to Times Square, performing atop a horse-drawn cart to promote an evening concert. Hodes, a Ukrainian-born pianist raised in Chicago, was a pioneer of the Chicago jazz style. His band included Joseph Kaiser Marshall on drums, Henry Clay Godwin on trumpet, Sandy Williams on trombone, and Cecil Scott on clarinet and tenor sax. That night's concert featured jazz icons Louis Armstrong and Jack Teagarden. William P. Gottlieb, a renowned jazz photographer, immortalized the moment, adding to his extensive documentation of jazz legends like Duke Ellington and Billie Holiday. Number 30. Hooverville in Central Park. In 1933, Central Park in New York City housed a makeshift community known as Hooverville. These shanty towns emerged during the Great Depression after the 1929 stock market crash left many jobless and homeless. Families unable to afford rent built shacks and tents on land originally reserved for a new reservoir. Hooverville stood as a stark contrast to nearby developments like the Beresford. Soup kitchens provided food, but the hardships endured there symbolized the economic struggles of the time. By 1933, the area was cleared as the reservoir project resumed, but its memory lingered as a reminder of resilience. Number 29. Building the Statue of Liberty. In 1882, Parisian workers toiled in a workshop to create the Statue of Liberty, envisioned by French sculptor Frédéric-Auguste Bartholdi. Designed as a gift to celebrate the abolition of slavery and symbolize freedom, the statue featured a broken shackle at its feet. Bartholdi collaborated with engineer Gustave Eiffel, who constructed its intricate internal framework. Completed in 1885, the statue was shipped to America, assembled, and officially dedicated in 1886. It became an enduring symbol of democracy, inspiring generations with its powerful message of hope and liberty. Number 28. Luna Park at Coney Island. In 1904, Luna Park lit up Coney Island with dazzling attractions. Created by Frederick Thompson and Elmer Dundee, it featured whimsical architecture, 250,000 lights, and thrilling rides. Their earlier success with the Trip to the Moon ride inspired the park's fantastical airship theme. Luna Park drew 60,000 visitors on its opening night, charging just 10 cents for entry. Despite early success, competition from Dreamland and financial troubles led to its decline. By 1908, Luna Park's glory began to fade, yet its legacy as an early amusement park pioneer remains. Number 27. Mulberry Street in Little Italy. By 1900, Mulberry Street in Manhattan's Little Italy was alive with Italian-American culture. Immigrants who had arrived after the 1880s shaped this vibrant community. The bustling street featured vegetable stalls, children playing barefoot, and merchants selling goods ranging from food to furniture. Named after the mulberry trees near Mulberry Bend, the area symbolized the immigrant experience. This lively neighborhood reflected the dreams and struggles of families building new lives in America while preserving their heritage. All right, now, let's head over to number 26, Manzanar Relocation Center. In 1942, at the Manzanar Relocation Center in California, a Japanese-American grandfather taught his grandson to walk amidst adversity. Following Pearl Harbor's attack, over 120,000 Japanese Americans, many native-born citizens, were forcibly relocated to internment camps. Manzanar, housing over 10,000 people, was surrounded by barbed wire and armed guards, reflecting wartime paranoia. Photographer Dorothea Lange captured this poignant moment, highlighting the resilience of families during a period of injustice. The camp closed in 1945, leaving behind stories of endurance and a reminder of the cost of prejudice. Number 25. Abraham Lincoln. Before the presidency. In 1846, a clean-shaven Abraham Lincoln, then 37, posed for a portrait captured by law student Nicholas Shepard. At the time, Lincoln was serving as a U.S. representative and had yet to achieve national prominence. After his term, he returned to practicing law in Springfield, Illinois. It wasn't until 1860, after an 11-year-old girl, Grace Bedell, suggested he grow a beard, that Lincoln adopted his iconic whiskered look. This small yet impactful change became a hallmark of his presidential image, solidifying his place in American history as the 16th president. Number 24. Lewis Hines Newsboys in St. Louis. In 1910, Lewis Hine captured a candid photograph of newsboys at Skinker Branch in St. Louis. The boys, often seen smoking and chatting, represented the hard-working youth who sold newspapers on city streets. Hine, known for his dedication to social reform, found photographing newsboys less challenging compared to child laborers in mines and factories. This setting allowed him to form personal connections with his subjects. His work highlighted the struggles of child laborers, helping push reforms that improved working conditions and protected children's rights. Number 23. Douglas SBD Dauntless Dive Bomber Crash. In 1943, a Douglas SBD Dauntless dive bomber balanced precariously on its nose after a crash landing on a carrier flight deck in the Pacific. This iconic aircraft played a pivotal role in World War II, particularly during the Battle of Midway, where it contributed to sinking Japanese carriers. With a range of 1,115 miles and a top speed of 250 km, nearly 6,000 Dauntless bombers were built. By the war's end, the Dauntless was gradually replaced by the Curtiss SB-2C Helldiver, but its legacy as a reliable and effective aircraft endures. Number 22. Sitting Bull and Buffalo Bill. In August 1885, Sitting Bull and Buffalo Bill posed together in Montreal for a photograph titled Foes in 76, Friends in 85. The image symbolizes the transformation of their relationship. Sitting Bull, leader of the Lakota Sioux, had defeated Custer at the Battle of Little Bighorn in 1876, but later faced exile and surrender. In 1885, he briefly joined Buffalo Bill's Wild West show for $125 up front and $50 weekly. Though the experience was short-lived, it highlighted Sitting Bull's adaptability in a rapidly changing world. Tragically, he was killed in 1890 during a police altercation at Standing Rock. Number 21. The Dust Bowl and Stratford, Texas. In 1935, a massive dust storm engulfed Stratford, Texas, during the Dust Bowl era. Severe droughts and unsustainable farming methods had stripped the land of its deep-rooted grasses, leaving the soil vulnerable to erosion. These devastating storms, known as black blizzards, reduced visibility to less than 3 feet and displaced countless families. Captured in haunting photographs, the Dust Bowl's legacy inspired works like John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath. This period remains a stark reminder of the environmental and human toll of neglecting sustainable agricultural practices. Number 20. Thomas Edison, the Wizard of Menlo Park. Born in 1847, Thomas Edison revolutionized modern life with inventions like the electric light bulb, phonograph, and motion pictures. Dubbed the Wizard of Menlo Park, Edison pioneered electric power generation and communication systems, transforming industries and daily life. With over 1,000 patents to his name, he exemplified innovation and perseverance. Edison's work laid the foundation for countless technological advancements, cementing his place as one of history's greatest inventors and a driving force behind the Second Industrial Revolution. Number 19. Henry Ford and the Assembly Line Revolution. Henry Ford, born in 1863, reshaped transportation and manufacturing with the Ford Motor Company. By popularizing the assembly line, he made cars affordable for everyday Americans, turning the automobile from a luxury item into a necessity. His vision of mass production revolutionized industries and set the stage for modern manufacturing. Ford's Model T became a symbol of innovation and accessibility, forever changing the way people lived and traveled. His contributions not only modernized transportation, but also transformed society by bringing mobility to the masses. Number 18. Princess Diana's Revenge Dress. In 1994, Princess Diana turned heads in a stunning black revenge dress during a public event shortly after Prince Charles admitted to infidelity. The dress, designed by Christina Stambolian, symbolized Diana's strength, independence, and confidence amidst royal scrutiny. Despite facing coldness from the royal family, Diana remained a beloved figure, capturing public admiration. Her bold choice to embrace glamour and self-assurance resonated with millions. Tragically, Diana's life was cut short in 1997, but this iconic moment endures as a testament to her enduring grace and resilience. Number 17. USO Show Hill 10 in Vietnam. In 1969, U.S. soldiers stationed at Hill 10 in Vietnam enjoyed a moment of respite during a USO show. The Vietnam War, which spanned nearly 2 decades, claimed millions of lives and deeply divided public opinion. These performances offered brief relief amidst the hardships of war, boosting morale. By 1970, growing opposition to U.S. involvement had intensified, with many Americans viewing the war as a mistake. This photograph captures the humanity and resilience of soldiers during one of the 20th century's most contentious conflicts. Number 16. Albert Einstein, the genius of relativity. Albert Einstein, photographed in 1921, is celebrated as one of history's greatest minds. The theoretical physicist developed the general theory of relativity and contributed to quantum mechanics, forever transforming science. His equation, E mc2e emc2e mc2, remains one of the most recognized in the world. In 1921, Einstein received the Nobel Prize in Physics for his explanation of the photoelectric effect. Beyond his scientific achievements, Einstein's humanitarian efforts and advocacy for peace solidified his legacy as a visionary who shaped both science and society. Number 15. The Romanov Sisters. In 1910, the Romanov sisters, Olga, Tatiana, Maria, and Anastasia, posed together in an elegant photograph. As daughters of Tsar Nicholas II, their lives were steeped in privilege, but overshadowed by political unrest. Unbeknownst to them, their fate was sealed by the Russian Revolution. 8 years later, the entire Romanov family was executed by Bolshevik forces in 1918. This photograph contrasts their youthful innocence with the tragedy that followed, marking a significant and heartbreaking moment in Russian history. Number 14. San Francisco earthquake devastation. The 1906 San Francisco earthquake, one of the most catastrophic in U.S. history, left the city in ruins. A massive 7.9 magnitude quake struck in the early morning, lasting nearly a minute. Fires ignited by ruptured gas lines compounded the devastation, consuming entire neighborhoods. This haunting photograph captures the aftermath, with smoke rising behind crumbled buildings. Over 3,000 people lost their lives, and 80% of the city was destroyed. The tragedy reshaped urban planning and highlighted the need for improved building standards in earthquake-prone regions. Number 13. Louis Armstrong, jazz legend. A 1953 photograph of Louis Armstrong epitomizes the essence of jazz. Born in New Orleans in 1901, Armstrong revolutionized music with his trumpet playing and distinctive voice. His classics, such as What a Wonderful World and Hello, Dolly, remain timeless. Known as Satchmo, he broke racial barriers and brought joy to millions worldwide. Armstrong's career spanned 5 decades, and his influence on jazz is unmatched. This image captures the warmth and passion of a man who forever changed the landscape of music. Number 12. Jackie Robinson, breaking barriers. Jackie Robinson made history in 1947 as the first African American to play Major League Baseball. Joining the Brooklyn Dodgers, Robinson's debut shattered racial barriers in sports. Despite facing discrimination, he excelled, earning Rookie of the Year and later induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1962. Robinson played in 6 World Series, helping the Dodgers secure a championship in 1955. His number 42 was retired across MLB in 1997. Robinson's courage and talent not only transformed baseball, but also advanced the civil rights movement. Number 11. Mahatma Gandhi, laughing with granddaughters. A 1941 photograph shows Mahatma Gandhi laughing joyfully with his granddaughters, Ava and Manu, at Birla House. Born in 1869, Gandhi led India's non-violent struggle for independence. Known as the father of the nation, he championed civil rights and poverty alleviation, often at great personal cost. The title Mahatma, meaning great soul, was bestowed upon him in 1914. Gandhi's infectious smile in this image reflects his unwavering spirit and belief in humanity, even amidst challenges. His legacy continues to inspire movements for peace and justice worldwide. Number 10. Marilyn Monroe's USO tour in Korea. In 1954, Marilyn Monroe performed for 100,000 U.S. troops in Korea during her USO tour. Despite being on her honeymoon with Joe DiMaggio in Japan, Monroe chose to support the servicemen by entertaining them with 10 shows. Her warmth and charisma lifted the spirits of soldiers stationed far from home. A Navy serviceman later recalled delaying their return flight just to see her perform. Monroe's visit showcased her dedication to her fans and solidified her status as an icon of compassion and charm. Number 9. The Hindenburg disaster. The fiery end of the Hindenburg in 1937 remains one of aviation's most infamous disasters. This colorized photograph brings the tragedy to life, showing the moment the hydrogen-filled airship burst into flames while attempting to land in New Jersey. The crash killed 36 people and marked the end of the airship era. The haunting image, paired with radio broadcaster Herbert Morrison's anguished words, "Oh, the humanity," serves as a chilling reminder of the risks of early aviation. Number 8. A girl and her doll in the rubble. In 1940, amidst the devastation of German bombings in England, a poignant image captured a young girl clutching her doll in the ruins of her home. Her world, like many others, was reduced to rubble, yet her presence symbolized resilience. The Blitz, which destroyed homes and lives, tested the strength of countless families. This photograph became a haunting reminder of the human cost of war, showing how even the youngest endured unimaginable hardship, holding on to small pieces of comfort amid destruction. History is pretty unsettling and quite bizarre. Number 7. The Tuskegee Airmen, breaking barriers. The Tuskegee Airmen, a group of African-American pilots trained at the Tuskegee Institute in Alabama, shattered racial barriers during World War II. Facing discrimination both at home and abroad, these skilled aviators flew critical missions over Europe and North Africa. Protecting bombers from enemy planes, they proved their courage and abilities in intense combat. Their service not only contributed to the war effort, but also paved the way for desegregation in the military, inspiring generations to challenge injustice and pursue equality. Now, let's move to Number 6. D-Day, the fight for liberation. On June 6, 1944, Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy, France, marking the beginning of the liberation of Europe. Known as D-Day, this monumental invasion faced fierce German resistance. Thousands of soldiers braved gunfire and treacherous waters to establish a foothold, but the cost was staggering. Many never made it past the landing boats. Despite the heavy losses, the operation's success became a turning point in World War II, symbolizing courage and determination in the face of overwhelming odds. Number 5. Soviet artillery crews on the Eastern Front. The Eastern Front of World War II was a theater of brutal combat as the Soviet Union defended its homeland against Nazi invasion. Soviet artillery crews played a critical role, using long-range strikes to halt German advances and breach enemy defenses. Their resilience and determination under harrowing conditions highlighted the Soviet Army's resolve. This image of artillery soldiers encapsulates the grit of those who fought to protect their nation, turning the tide in one of history's most devastating conflicts. Number 4. British soldier with gas mask. The threat of chemical warfare during World War II loomed over soldiers, as shown in this image of a British soldier wearing a gas mask while moving through smoke. Chemical weapons, first used in World War I, caused horrific injuries and deaths, making preparedness essential. Soldiers carried masks constantly, ready for deployment at a moment's notice. This photograph symbolizes the invisible dangers of war and the resilience required to endure such unpredictable threats. Number 3. Franklin D. Roosevelt, leadership in crisis. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the only U.S. president elected to 4 terms, guided the nation through the Great Depression and World War II. His leadership during these crises earned him immense trust and respect. Roosevelt played a pivotal role in forming the Allied strategy that ultimately defeated Nazi Germany and Japan. Despite battling polio, he inspired hope with his fireside chats and policies. His legacy endures as a symbol of resilience, vision, and unwavering commitment to democracy. Number 2. The Warsaw Ghetto, children in despair. In 1941, the Warsaw Ghetto became a symbol of unimaginable suffering under Nazi oppression. An image of orphaned children wandering the streets captures the harrowing conditions they faced: starvation, disease, and constant fear. Despite the brutality, the Jewish community demonstrated remarkable resilience, establishing secret schools and moments of hope. The 1943 Warsaw Ghetto Uprising stands as a testament to courage against overwhelming odds. This photograph remains a haunting reminder of the Holocaust's horrors and the indomitable human spirit. Number 1. Children in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. The Holocaust's horrors are embodied in the haunting image of 2 children in the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. Starved, orphaned, and stripped of innocence, they represent the unimaginable cruelty inflicted during this dark chapter in history. Prisoners faced starvation, disease, and death daily, with children among the most vulnerable. This photograph serves as a solemn reminder of the need for vigilance against hatred and the importance of preserving the memory of those who suffered. And that's it for today, guys. What do you think of these 50 images from history? Let us know your precious thoughts in the comment below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.